Right, so just before we get on to the first point, I think it's important to understand who is this video actually for. So who is this going to help? Now, this video isn't going to help OF creators that are maybe just starting out, maybe creators that are earning a couple $100, a couple thousand. Maybe this isn't the best video for you because yes, this will help your account, but it's not what your account needs at the start. If you are starting up, you just need to get your content out there first of all, right? This is like the nitty gritty of the creators that are maybe, you know, past the 10K mark, in the 15, 16, you know, but struggling to hit that 20K mark, because once you've actually hit 20K, you can't say you've hit 20K, right? And who doesn't want to hit 20K a month in OF, right? So this is for creators specifically that are struggling within the 10 to 15K mark, and you are trying to hit 10K. The reason why is because this stuff is the stuff that you can implement on based off the size of your account. It's going to have a big impact. So for example, poor fan retention is the first thing we're going to talk about, okay? So if you are just starting out, yes, your fan retention is important, and if you can have these fundamentals on lockdown from day one, amazing, but it's actually not going to change anything drastically, okay? So this is for creators that have a couple thousand followers on, you know, subscribers on OF, that have, you know, making 10, 15K. If you add these stuff in, because these are the stuff that you are most likely missing out on to hit 20K, this is going to have a big impact on your account, okay? So we've identified who this video is for, okay? So if you're not in that area, this video probably isn't the best for you. But if you are in the 10 to 15K, have a look at this, because we're talking about poor fan retention and how you can actually fix this and the stuff that you can implement today to improve this, okay? So the first thing, and bearing in mind, if I'm trying to write this as simple as I possibly can, so if it seems obvious, it probably because it is, but people don't actually do the obvious, right? The results you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding. Everyone knows what they need to do, but no one actually does it. But I'm just highlighting what the exact things you should be doing, okay? So to improve poor fan retention, the first thing you want to think about is first impression, okay? Now this is your first interaction with this fan. So what does the fan see the minute they subscribe to you? The minute they're in your chats, what happens, right? What do they see? And this is usually where you lose a lot of your fans to begin with, because they're put off straight away, okay? Your first impression is everything. And also, when a fan first subscribes, I'm pretty sure the number is the first 48 hours is usually when a fan spends the most. Now, obviously, you get the outliers, the whales that stay for months on end, but the majority of your fans will spend within the first 48 hours. Now, first interaction, first impression is everything, because if your first impression of someone is that you do not like them, the last thing you're going to do to that person is give that person money. And the whole objective of this is to improve how much money you're making. So your first impression is probably not the best. Have a look at that, right? Genuinely have a look on your account. What happens to every fan that subscribes? Have a look at all the fans that have subscribed. What is the very first message they see? What happens, right? What is that interaction looking like? Are they just getting ignored straight away? Are they just getting bombarded with pay-per-views? That is terrible, okay? Now, the second thing you can do to improve poor fan retention is to stand out, okay? The last thing you want to do is to be branded as just everyone else, because a lot of these subscribers, they are not only just subscribed to you, okay? So they're probably subscribed to tens, if not hundreds of other creators. So if you do not stand out, you're just gonna be ignored like the rest of them, okay? The creators that make the most money within the chats are the creators that stand out, okay? Now, these are the few ways that you can stand out. Personalized opener, humanize, longer chats, humor, and sales timing. So, personalized opener, okay? This is, again, all of this is very obvious, but are you actually even doing this, okay? Or when a fan subscribes, do they actually have personalized openers? When you start, I'm gonna go back down into here when it says daily greetings, but when you first speak to your existing fans, what is happening? Are you just sending, hey babe? Or are you actually going the extra mile and putting in their name, starting the conversation off with past chats that you've had in your notes, stuff like this, make it more personalized. Are you sending voice notes with their name in it? That's obviously way better than just sending a random message that you could send to anyone, okay? Humanize. Now, this is something where you can, so if you understand a fan's journey on OF, right, he's speaking to multiple girls, right, multiple models, creators, chatters, whatever, right, and they're all having the same sequence. It's just the same, hey, how are you, what are you doing? Oh, I made this video, do you want to see it? It's so boring, and they can actually predict this, right? This is what people mean when they say OF is getting saturated, because it's just getting more competitive. There's a lot more people doing the same thing. So to stand out, you have to do something that is different. And humanize is a great one, because this is interrupting that pattern of sequence. A fan subscribes, hey, how are you? Do you want to see this? That's boring. if you say, hey, first of all, personalize your opener, hey, you already stand out. And then within that chat, you throw off the sequence of, you start talking about stuff that no one else talks about. Maybe, you know, talk about a story. Say, oh, this morning I locked myself in the bathroom. It was so embarrassing, whatever. Make that person think, I am actually speaking to a woman here. I'm actually speaking to a human, right? You need to humanize it. Stop being robotic in your chats. And the third thing, that you can do to improve, to stand out, is longer chats, okay? Actually have a conversation with these people. Don't just have one word answers or very short sentences. This is something that is so boring, right? How are you going to get someone to spend money on you if you can't even be bothered to actually have a chat with them, okay? Humor, pretty self-explanatory. If you make someone laugh, they're going to be way more likely that they like you, right? You like people that make you laugh. That's a good one. Sales timing, again, this goes back into the opener and first impression. Are you just selling to these people as soon as you possibly can, or are you setting them up? Are you going through a sequence? Are you going through, you know, are you telling a story? What are these? Do you even understand why these fans are buying to begin with? Because just because you sell something doesn't mean it's good. Sometimes you can sell in a way that it hinders your future sales. Because if a fan is buying something because they think they're getting a bargain on it, they're going to expect the next thing to also be a bargain. You do want fans to be thinking, I'm getting something at a good price. Because then when you try and upsell, increase the price, they're not going to like that. You need them to be they need to be invested in a story of they're curious of what could happen next. So if they're buying your first pay-per-view with the intention of what could this be and what could be next, when you try and sell what could be next, you're going to be able to charge way more. So how you charge way more is by adding value and timing your sales perfectly, okay? Sales timing is a big one to stand out, because a lot of these fans, they just get bombarded with pay-per-views and they're just like, you know, all these other chatters, they're in the race to be the cheapest. You do not want to be that. You want to add in value into your content and be at the race to be the most expensive, because obviously those are the creators that make the most money, okay? Number 3, maintaining connection, okay? Now this is, again, if you have poor fan retention, it's obviously because there's something happens within that fan's journey on your account where they've not liked it and left. Okay, that's the only reason people leave, is because they're not getting enough value from you, essentially. Okay, that's why they will not subscribe or stay subscribed for a longer period of time. Maintaining connections, there's 3 key ways to do this, okay? So daily greetings, I've touched on this before, okay? But when you're daily greeting your fans, use notes, right? So when you're actually having these initial chats, these first impression chats, write everything down. But more importantly, ask the right questions. Ask loads of stuff like, where are they from? Like more specific stuff like, okay, what is their favourite football team? Right, find out what it is. If it's Manchester United, check up when's the last time Man United played and bring that into the conversation, because that makes you stand out. It's way more personalised. All of this, again, ties in together, okay? This is how you maintain connection, because if you're now bringing stuff up that you've spoke about with this fan in the past, I promise you no one else is doing that. So if you just do that alone, you're winning, okay? You're having a great time if you're doing that just alone, okay? Try to give a fuck, right? That's a big one. But just pretend, right? You don't have to be so boring and bland in your chats. You can pretend like you actually care. Oh my God, Man United won. I'm rooting for the next game. Whatever. It's cringy, but if it makes you money, who gives a shit? Do you know what I mean? You need to just pretend like you care. But again, if you're not on your account chatting, have a look at these chats. Do these chatters actually, are they chatting in the way that they, you know, make the fan believe that they care? Or is it just, oh no way, babe, do you want to see this pay-per-view? That is not good, okay? And the best way to give a F is to talk about your own interests. So if this brother is talking about Man United and all this stuff, talk about your favourite stuff, the stuff that you like doing. Obviously, if it's your chat team, they need to have this information. If they don't have this information off you, it's probably because they don't know what they're doing. But we'll move from that. You need to be talking about your own interests within the chats, because this actually also makes it interesting for the chatter on the account. If they're not just having the same boring questions, if they're actually talking about interests and they can, you know, start giving perspectives in chats. It can get like that, right? But that is how you maintain a connection. If you can have those kind of chats with someone, they're obviously going to stick around, right? Better than the boring just, hey, how you doing? Do you want to see this? No, goodbye. That is not good.